Hey, welcome back to High Mileage Need Love 2, the channel where I set out to prove that high mileage cars like this one make for great deals and even better daily drivers. This is my 2006 Toyota 4Runner that I bought on Copart for $3,900 after the fees. And before I say anything further, pause the video and just leave a comment below with how many miles you think this thing has, just by taking a quick look at it. Great, made your guess? It's got 260,000 miles. This 4Runner is a one-owner car and it was really well maintained by the look of it. I found this by chance while browsing through Copart looking for a flip or my next project car, and came across this, put it on my watch list, and when it came time for the auction, I went ahead and bid on it. And I was bidding with somebody in Libya up until about $3,000, maybe $3,200 was the winning bid, I believe. And after the fees, it all came out to $3,900 bucks. This body style 4Runner is known as the 4th generation. They came out in 2003 and they are by far my favorite 4Runners for quite a few reasons. We'll go over some of the things you should look out for and what to avoid, and some very key takeaways that you'll have in the event that you are considering buying one of these. Just for reference, this is a 4-wheel drive limited, which was the top of the line model, and it has every option that you could have gotten when ordering one of these from Toyota back in 2005, 2006. As I already mentioned before, this is the 4th generation of Toyota 4Runners. They were introduced in 2002 as the 2003 model years and ran up until 2009 as the 2010 model year. These things came in a couple of different flavors. You had the SR5, which was the base model. It had like gray gross bumpers. If you just do a quick Google search, I'll put an image here. And the wheel flares were also gray and just more like a Wrangler kind of thing. Wasn't a crazy fan. Then you had the Sport, which sometimes came with the body color front bumpers and fender flares, but the most notable thing about the Sport was the hood scoop, much like the 3rd generation that came with a hood scoop as well. Last but not least, you had the Limited, the highest trim level that Toyota offered for the affluent gentleman or gentle lady who wanted to go off-road but liked the reliability and comforts of an up-class Toyota SUV. Not all 4Runners you're gonna look at are gonna look this good. The 2003 model year looked a little bit different, see here. And then in 2005, the 2006 or late 2005 model year and 2006 were facelifted to look like this, which is a lot more appealing. This is the 2UZ FE, the big boy, the bad mamma jamma, the indestructible 1 million mile engine that you've heard about in that Toyota Tundra that one guy drove and got a free car from Toyota. This engine is so good. I mean, it's really what you want when you're looking at a 4th gen Toyota. The V6 is nice and it's somewhat fuel efficient, but the V8 is where it's at. Fuel economy is okay, power is awesome, and towing capacity is phenomenal. Just be mindful that prior to 2005, the towing capacity of these cars was 5,000 pounds for some reason. And then when they facelifted them, 2006 model year forward, it went up to 7,300 pounds with the V8 4.7 liter. Engine options on the 4th gen 4Runner were a 4.0 liter V6 or the 2UZ FE V8 4.7 liter motor. 2UZ FE standing for 2 banks of unstoppable freaking zebra kick horsepower producing cylinder chambers. Yeah, you won't find that on the wiki pages, but that's true. All 4Runners, I think, came in 4-wheel drive, but I know you guys are probably gonna correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, and I just want to apologize in advance if I am, but it would only make sense. It's a 4Runner. It should have 4 wheels that run independent of one another, I think. 4.0 motor is fairly reliable. Fuel efficiency is okay. V8 is incredibly reliable as long as you maintain the timing belt, which is due every 90,000 miles or 100,000 miles, 5, 6 years, 7 years, depending on, I guess, what country you live in or who wrote your service manual. It's up for debate. If you don't change the timing belt, it can snap and blow up the motor. The 4.0 V6 had a timing chain, which you don't have to worry about, but some of them did have head gasket failures, although those cases are few and far in between. If you're looking at a V8, make sure you cold start it. The exhaust manifold is very thin and can sometimes crack. You'll know it's cracked when you start it and you hear a loud ticking, and the car just generally sounds very loud. Only way to replace that is to replace the exhaust manifold, which includes the cats, and it's very expensive. This happens because the cats are very heavy and the metal is very thin on the exhaust manifold. If you feel that is an issue, just make sure you get it diagnosed by a mechanic, because it can later lead to emissions. You'll fail your state emissions inspection and essentially render you having to do the job or take the car off the road. These cars hold their value incredibly well, especially 2005 and up with a V8. So I did some research on the forums and looked up some buyer's guide, and here are some very crucial tips to avoid getting skewered in case you're thinking of buying one of these. First things first, get on your belly and look underneath. Get under the car and really inspect for any leaks, rust, anything that may jeopardize the integrity of the car. Most importantly, the frame, the cross members. This kind of rust is pretty light. I mean, I would consider this frame in really good condition. I wouldn't call it excellent, but it's clean for being a salt belt kind of car. You see that even though you have rust here, it doesn't jeopardize the integrity. Take a hammer if need be, I don't know, a rock, and just bang it against it. Make sure there's no soft spots. And if there isn't any, and you don't see any leaks, any oil leaks, or like, look at that exhaust. That looks terrible. That's, to change that, you're gonna have to, cut and re-weld. But that can be done. Exhaust is replaceable. Your frame is not so much. You also want to check for rust in hard to see areas on the body, like right here. Tow hitch is a pretty clear indicator of rust. If you see any kind of rust on the tailgate, be sure to open it up and check the other side, because you'll be pleasantly surprised as to what's happening in there. Take a look at the door jambs as well as the underside of the door here. Make sure that there's no rust creeping. Every door. Take a peek. Pop open your hood. Your latch should be right in the center. Take a look at the latch. Make sure it's not rotted and on its way out. All these bolts, this is common. They're going to be rusty. Chances are they may not be frozen, but if they look really, really, really bad, take into account that might be a problem if you have to change anything, especially coil packs later on down the road. My steering rod looks like it has seen way better days. You also have your upper control arm. Power steering reservoir, just make sure that's topped off. Your engine oil dipstick is right there, and I believe they got rid of the transmission dipstick in 2004, so you're not going to have one of those past 2004. Battery, make sure that's in good shape. This is an electronic master cylinder pump, and when you cycle the ignition to on and not start the car, you will hear it run. That's completely normal. Just make sure you have good brake pressure. Oil cap is right there. Coolant, don't open it when the car is hot. Your reservoir should be nice and red. Toyota uses red coolant. AC port. This car looks like it has a new auxiliary transmission line cooler. Air filters under here, and that's about it for underneath the hood. Moving on to the interior. The limited 4Runner that came with running boards also had running board illumination. You hit the unlock button and that light comes on. It's really nice. It looks really cool at night. Open up the door. You're in here. My limited has memory seats, so I got my memory seats right there. We'll stick the key in the ignition and fire this up. 260,000 miles. All right, first things first, let me turn on the AC because it's 78 degrees here in New York. Your window switches are right here. I don't like where these switches are, but that's a personal preference. Mirrors, adjuster right here, you got some 4 arrows. This is an AC power outlet, which is located in your glove box. Got my GoPro charging in there. Center diff lock, and I want to say this means Robert, Sally, Charlie, Amanda off, or rear sway control assist off. Take your pick. I'm not 100% sure. The manual's in the glove box. You can read it and find out. Your 4x4 switch is right here. This car is full-time 4-wheel drive. You can switch from high to low. There we go. So you got to be neutral first and then do it. Otherwise the car's gonna yell at you like we just experienced. Neutral. Let's go back to 4 high so we don't blow up our diff. Got a backup camera. Back to what I was saying. A lot of people complain about the climate controls. Oh, it's so complicated. I don't know what to do. Like, what is this? It's very straightforward. Low, kinda low, medium, and high fan. I mean, it doesn't get much simpler than that. You got auto mode, dual climate control. You turn that on if you want to change the passenger's temperature independent of the driver, or shut it off and keep them both the same. Raise the temp, lower the temp, and then you've got the different vent positions. It's not that complicated. I don't understand why people make such a big deal about it. Not that bad. You got a little storage compartment here for money. Your navigation, when it turns on, it wants to make sure that you agree to not let this cause a crazy accident. We got a rear view mirror with 2 buttons for your compass and the auto dimming mirror. Sunroof controls are right there, but this sunroof on this car was actually disabled. So go figure. You've got heated seats and downhill assist control. In here, you've got a 12-volt, 120-watt outlet. These cup holders are adjustable. And this is for your back window. If you remember from my 3rd gen video, Toyota keeps this feature in all of their 4Runners. So you look back, lower the window, raise the window. It is automatic, so 1 touch and it goes up. Now, while we're staring back here, I want to show you this cool feature, which are blind spot mirrors. And this was actually, I think it was a standard option, but it shows you your blind spot on the opposite side of the car. So this, which is the right side of the car, shows the left. You see the bushes, and the left shows the right side. And super handy feature. I mean, why they don't do this anymore, or more cars don't do something like this, is beyond me. Super, super helpful. This Toyota's got the JBL audio system, which I would happily demonstrate if I wasn't afraid of, YouTube copyright striking me. So just take my word for it. It works, and it's really cool. The navigation works. You can mess with it. Menu, set a destination. I forgot how to get the radio to show up. Maybe if I hit FM. There we go. So your radio, I'm not sure what these buttons do, but they do something. You can change the contrast, brightness. You can tilt the radio in the event that there's glare, maybe from the sunroof or something, but it'll tilt. Or maybe you're really tall. You're a really tall person, and you want to see. So you would look at it from, up here where tall people live. Last thing to mention is the dashboard. Some of these have issues with the dashboard cracking. I believe it was limited to 2000, up until 2005, maybe 2006. And that's because of just too much exposure to UV light caused the dashboards to crack. Not a huge deal. You can just throw a dash pad on top of it. A couple of really awesome places to get some of those. I will link some in the description below. I am 5'7", 168 pounds, and this seat is, the seat's all the way down. It doesn't go up or down. The back articulates. Let's move it all the way forward in case you have a child in the back. Don't mind the seat track yelling. All right, so this is about as forward as I can get it while still being comfortable. The seatbelt is within reach. I feel like I'm sitting pretty high. Can I sit in this position for a long time? Probably. Now, let me set it to where I would be comfortable. So this is a very comfortable position for me. I can mansplain or manspread, whatever it's called nowadays, comfortably. And sitting in the back seat, these are actually it's my first time sitting in the back seat, and these seats are very, very comfortable. I have plenty of room. So if you're 6'3", and there's somebody that's 5'7" sitting behind you, I assume the chair is probably going to be up to here, and I would still be fairly comfortable. Sitting in the back, you got two vents from the AC. This thing goes up, and there's supposed to be, oh, this is a trash bin-ish thing. You put a bag over it, and it acts as a trash can for your road snacks. You got a center console here, which is pretty comfortable, and I think it even has, whoa, cup holders for your big gulp and super big gulp, and your 4 or 5 or 6 taquitos that you can lay nicely right across here and in line with the AC vents so that they can cool off and you don't burn the roof of your mouth. Toyota really thought of everything. Close it. Lift it up. I think these back headrests are adjustable. Seat belts come out of these little slits in the wall. And just to verify, nope, not the seat back can't go any further than this. Your window switch button is in a better position than the driver. I like it a little better. Let's take a look at the trunk. Trunk space on the 4Runner is pretty spacious. You got a cargo cover. Pop that open, and you got a shelf that you can lay down or flip up. You got storage in here for something. Your jack is located right here in the side. along with, I think, the lines for your rear washer system. And nothing underneath this thing because you've got your spare tire underneath the car. The cargo cover has these guys which clip onto the back of the headrests, and I'm not 100% sure why, but it's pretty cool. Clip them in. And then it gives you even better coverage to hide your valuable treasures. You can always open the back window if you just want to drop something in and close it back up using the keyhole. Oh, and one last thing. These 4Runners have soft close rear tailgate. Very cool feature. And thus concludes my latest high mileage purchase, the 260,000 mile 4th gen 4Runner. Hopefully you learned some things about this car from this video. If you did, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, subscribe. If you want to help and donate to my Patreon, it's patreon.com/HMNLT. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with some of the other cars that I bought, because it's not just this 4Runner. I have a few more. And I almost forgot. This is a little table.